Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. Can you hear me okay? Can I get a confirmation through our chat box? All right. So this is your Department of Information and Communications Technology, the government's lead agency for advancing the ICT development agenda. And we are from DICT Mindanao Cluster 1, which covers Zamboanga Peninsula, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi. Your DICT MC1 is recognized globally as world champion at World Summit and Information Society Prizes 2020 under e-employment category for generating an accumulated income of 1.5 million every month for freelancers who use our ICT hub. All right, welcome to the second day of our 5-day live webinar on digital transformative technologies. My name is May, and I am your host for this afternoon. To formally start, let us all bow down our heads for the opening prayer.
Exalted and King is exalted and high. I will praise Him. He is exalted forever, exalted, and I will praise His name. He is the Lord, forever His truth shall reign. Heaven and earth rejoice in His holy name. He is exalted, the King is exalted on high.
Good afternoon once again. So hello po sa ating mga Zoom participants. So going 500 na po tayo. So hello to our participants from Maramag, Bukidnon, Philippines, from Bulacan, from Isabela. We also have from Laguna. Ayan, hello po. And we also have from Hulu-Sulu. Ayan, good afternoon po, ma'am and sir. We are also live on Facebook. Hello po sa ating Facebook Live viewers. So don't forget to share these live streams so others can join us this afternoon. So yesterday, our speaker was able to discuss on digital transformation framework. Today, we will be learning about Industry 4.0 and digital transformation. Ayan. Ready na po ba ang lahat? Can you type a big yes po on our Zoom chat box? I'm pretty sure everyone enjoys listening and is enthusiastic to learn more from our very competent speaker. But before that, let me just remind you of our virtual etiquette. So always keep your mic on mute. Interact with us through the chat box or when there are online tools. Have a bottle or glass of water with you. Hydrate every now and then. So activities for today, we will have Mentimeter and then the Q&A portion. So we encourage everyone to raise their questions through our Q&A box on Zoom and type in your questions on the comment section on Facebook. And also the raffle draw for our Zoom participants towards the end of this event. So duration schedule. So this is a 5-day webinar that would end on April 16th on Friday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., 3 hours per session. So information regarding our evaluation. So the evaluation link will be given on April 16, 2021 and will be open at 5 p.m. until 12 a.m. So this applies to our Zoom participants. So there will be a single evaluation for you. However, for our Facebook Live participants, there will be a daily evaluation. So you have to accomplish it daily. We will pin the evaluation link on the comment session. A certificate of participation will be given to participants who have attended 80% of the training sessions and accomplished all the training activities or output. And by the way, don't forget to type in your correct email addresses, so you will surely get your certificate. So ayan, ito na naman tayo sa ating Mentimeter. Share with us your thoughts. So describe your day in one word. Just go to www.menti.com and then enter the code displayed on the screen. All right, so someone is feeling excited, feeling great. Sadness, oh why? Broken-hearted. Awesome. Excellent. Hopeful. Ayan, thank you so much for sharing with us your feelings and thoughts this afternoon. So, ayan, I will not hold you for too long. I will now turn over the microphone to our speaker, Mr. John Macasio. Sir, take it away.
Okay. Kamusta ang dating ko? Malinaw ba?
Malinaw, sir.
Malinaw na malinaw. Okay. So, kamusta na kayong lahat ngayong araw na ito? I hope hindi ko kayo na-shock kahapon when I made the start to discuss the digital transformation framework. To get started, I want to share with you the project, the training brief. Normally, I create the training brief through my Facebook page. So I'm going to share with you the training brief in my Facebook page, JM Logic. So this will help you have a bigger perspective on this training. So the learning conversation is meant for those who are designated to plan the business strategy and develop service portfolio of service delivery transformation. So if you are a person designated to participate in the strategic planning, in the information system planning, all right, or you are a person designated to participate in the development of your IT services portfolio for service delivery, so this is for you. Now, the focus of the knowledge share. So yesterday, I provided you with what the focus of the knowledge share is the digital transformation technologies. So we are looking at the digital transformation technologies that are redefining that and driving the experience of new efficiency in services delivery. So I gave you some stories yesterday to describe the new efficiency in service delivery, the enhanced customer experience, innovation in product quality, development sustainability, and the differentiated model in doing business. And yesterday, I made a differentiation between computerization and digital transformation. So when you talk of digital transformation, it is different from what you are calling as computerization, primarily because it includes understanding of the transformation principle. There are transformation principles, approaches, methodology, and competency in order for digital transformative technologies achieve the objective. So the moment you go to digital transformation with digital transformative technologies, the objective is new value created and realized benefit. You just don't just simply computerize your record. Here, you create new value and you realize new benefit. And not only that, you reach and engage all the customer. In computerization, you limit yourself from people who come to your office or come to your agency branches to do the transaction with computer. In digital transformation, the reach and the engagement of all customer, my friend, is more extensive. Then in digital transformation, simplicity and speed. Simplicity and speed. And then data-driven decision. And number five, business continuity. So if you see, digital transformation enables most of the business and government agency to have their business continuity in the midst of the disruption of business due to COVID. So when we talk of digital, so the moment an agency of government or a business talk of digital, it is simply connectivity. So the first thing that you will know about digital is connectivity. Data devices, software, process, data, application, and security with technologies of Industry 4.0. So when we talk of digital transformation project, you are now talking of connectivity, devices, software, process, data, application, security with Industry 4.0 technologies that are affecting the human person's meaning of work productively. So how do you define work productivity is now determined by these technologies. How you are being entertained, how do you exist with dignity, how you secure yourself and be healthy, and how to exercise your freedom to be in a relationship, to plan a future, and to achieve a purpose. The co-creation of value with the customer, in digital transformation, the agency of government and the business enterprise co-create value. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, if you're going to create a service and then you market it and you're trying to convince your customer to use it, that is computerization. But in digital transformation, you don't have to convince that your customer will use your system because you co-create the value with the customer. The customer will not even ask you to be trained about it. The customer will not even ask you what's the value of it. The customer will simply use it. So there is a co-creation of value. So the transformational leadership, acquisition and operation of services integrates the use of the following digital technology. So when you talk of digital transformation in creating service portfolio, it means broadband network and wireless technology that connect devices, location, data, application, and people of value creation and customer experience. That's why MC1 bringing free Wi-Fi in Holo Sulu, it's not just setting up a tower. It is actually bringing new value, creating new experience to the people who are going to be connected through your free Wi-Fi. So it's not just merely setting up a free Wi-Fi or setting up a Tech for Ed. It is actually creating new value and customer experience to the people who are located in those places. The number two is cloud computing. Today, you are obligated, agency of government are obligated by an implementing policy that the digital strategy and operation of a government agency must be using cloud computing as an approach for the infrastructure, platform, and software of performance as a service. Required na po yan, you are going to change. Number three, artificial intelligence and big data that extend the capability in data analytics and robot-enabled automation. And yesterday, I told you, never teach that course if you have no real experience of that reality. Kung nabasa nyo lang sa libro yan, ay boss. Number four, digital, social, and mobile technologies and our mobile devices, web application, and social network. Take note, content delivery and interactivity. The content delivery and interactivity of services are now in that mobile technologies that you have and through the social application that are downloaded by the users. And as I've been telling you, time will come that your web address will be insignificant. Internet of Things and intelligent devices of data capture, process control, and automated response. Today, many lives of people are affected by Internet of Things and intelligent devices. I will be explaining that today. And then cybersecurity of critical infrastructure, of protected confidentiality, integrity, availability, and privacy of information. So, so when you talk of digital transformation technology, this is what is changing. This is what is changing the way schools must be operated, government must behave, and business enterprise must realize its investment return. So the project organization of digital transformation is expected to relate with effectiveness. Take note, actual value stream and supply chain. As I said yesterday, never make a lecture on digital transformation when you have never interact with the actual value stream and supply chains of the complex online service delivery environment called cyberspace. Ano po yan? Ako palagi, you're just deceiving your audience talking about it, but you do not have an actual experience of the value stream and supply chain of the complex online service delivery environment called cyberspace, which is standard described. Simple lang po yan, cyberspace. Di po kailangang explain ng kahaba-haba yan. Sapagkat describe na yan ang standard. A global domain. Today, my friend, we live in the global domain of information environment consisting of independent network of information system, including the internet, telecommunication network, computer system, and embedded processor and controller. That is why DICT must be successful in the creation of that critical infrastructure of the cyberspace. And that critical number one infrastructure is the national broadband and the free Wi-Fi network that is mandated by law. And if you're not going to be successful, don't talk about digital transformation. You are not going to digitally transform without the cyberspace. All right, so my friend, that is the brief of this 5-day training on digital transformation technologies competency framework. All right? So if you have still question, Ma'am Wendy, if you have questions, you just simply put it in the chat. Okay? So today, I'm going to describe the meaning of Industry 4.0. Alam nyo, buzzword yan. Just me. Ang daming kumita ng mga training dyan, mga seminar at marketing event. Walang naisip, Industry 4.0. The new era of digital. Ang tanong, ano ba yan? Ano ba yan? Alam niyo po, no? Minsan, ini-invite ako, Sir John, halika nga, training, ano tayo? Mag-marketing tayo. Meron kami mga Industry 4.0 product. Tulungan mo naman kami na, ano yan, ipaliwanag. Yeah, trabaho ko po yan eh. Kaya mga marketing event, yung mga technical conference, yan po ako nasasali. Kaya marami akong nalalaman tungkol sa mga technology product. Kasi yung mga distributor, reseller, yan, na karamihan ay mga naging estudyante ko. O kaya once upon a time, naging tauhan ko. They were part of my sales and marketing team in Red Fox Technologies. I was the former general manager of Red Fox Technologies. And then, okay. So, ang tanong pa, at maraming academe, just me, Industry 4.0. Academic Industry 4.0. Ang tanong, ano ba yan? Ano ba yan, boss? Ano ba yan? And then, ano impact niyan? Ano impact niya sa isang teacher na nandiyan sa Sibuto? O ano impact niya Industry 4.0 diyan sa may Sibugay? Ano impact ng Industry 4.0 diyan sa Samba? Samba ako dati sa Arakan Valley. Ano ang significant niya? What is the significance of Industry 4.0? So that will be our discussion today. At may budget yan. Naku, napakaraing pera dyan sa Industry 4.0. Alright? So let me start, my friend, with an interesting note. Okay? With an interesting note. When you say you are a competent person, when you say, Sir John, I am a competent person. And how do you know? I am certified. And actually, I passed all my examination. And actually, no. Ang competent person ay very simple. Definitive ang kanyang understanding, skills, and character to perform at a given level of performance standard. The moment you talk about Industry 4.0, siguraduhin mo, boss, you understand the decision and work associated to the mandated function and outcome of a defined strategy and operation of the organization. The moment you speak and talk about Industry 4.0, of digital transformation, of changing performance quality of an organization, make sure, boss, you understand exactly the definitive understanding and skills and character for the kind of decision and work associated with it. And you have to have the person's ability to transfer and apply knowledge, skills, and attitude. Kaya mo ituro yan, boss. And apply it relative to a new situation and to the requirement of collaborative results. Alam po nyo, kung kayo ay in charge ng isang kumpanya na kinakailangan kumita sa loob ng isang taon ng 100 million, naintindihan nyo ang ibig ko sabihin. Hindi ka tatayong director dyan. Dahil pag tumayo kang director, merong ginigage kang result. Magkano kinita mo? Hindi ka bibigyan ng outstanding dyan kung hindi mo maipapakita ang naging contribution mo doon sa bank account ng kumpanya. Yan ang challenge. So the moment you create services and you talk of services in the perspective reality of creating new, better value, but you are simply measured on how you make sure that you have your knowledge that will be applicable to new situation and collaborative results. Not only that, when you do the business transformation, you must have that capability to engage anyone and to feel na ikaw ay ignorant because you may be hearing a person who is telling you of what you do not really know or things you simply read but you have never really experienced it. And there may be a person who is low in rank, baba ng rango, but that very person, all right, has a dirty hand, na dumihang kamay, who really create the result of what you are talking at the stage. So a competent manager must have that ability, my friend, to build that knowledge requisite. And to do that, you need to have a competency model of about shareable body of knowledge, believed to define, lalo na kung teacher pa ho kayo. You need to have the shareable body of knowledge, believed to define and differentiate the essential indicators of the required understanding, action, and attitude behind the successful delivery of the service objective. Alam niyo, I have been following DepEd since 2007 until now. The manner they deliver education. Primarily because there was a time I was deeply engaged. You know, there are only two relevant questions in education delivery. Number one, is teaching and learning easy? Is teaching and learning easy for a basic education learner to achieve the competency objective of the basic education's curriculum? The word is easy. Because if that is difficult, then you will deserve all kinds of assessment result that is poor from the perspective of the global educational community. Number two, teachers who are actually the person who is accountable and responsible in the delivery of the service must be listened to, by people who makes policy for what they are able to achieve and for what they cannot do. And three, digitalize education. Do not make a lot of excuses why you cannot digitalize it. Move from a manual mind of service delivery to a digital service delivery that recognize the value of distributing, not desktops. Don't create laboratories, but make the teacher and the student in their hand is the access device. So what if you have a educational commons? But how do they make access if the computer is inside the lab? And if the connectivity is simply in the school, most especially today, that there is no face-to-face. So that framework is competency. Digitally transform the education. The same way the Department of Health, just me, with all the money that they have spent since 2016 to create the electronic health system, today it should be make things efficient to locate the patient. If you only know that particular document, my God, you will be sad. Because they have done it in 2016, 17, 18, and terminated it in 2018. My bali, 2020, 21 until now, you can trace the sick person easy. You will be able to trace the anomalous hospital that are offering services because that were the objective of those systems. And PhilHealth will never squander the money, directly or indirectly, if they have only implemented the e-health system that they have, marketed in 2016. SAP, SAP of DSWD, the provision of those assistance, if only DSWD have taken seriously the household targeting system, my friend, you do not have any more problem in locating people who need assistance. And my friend, they were created and funded time of GMA. So these are three relevant. Why? Because they are service delivery. So the competency model must be, my friend, very clear. So the competency guide on digital technology, itong ginagawa ninyo, is for sustainable development that will provide the practitioner's perspective to create valid, verifiable, acceptable, and actionable understanding about change enabled by digital technology of Industry 4.0. But the question is, are the transformational leadership of an agency of government and industry do really understand the change that is going to be enabled by digital technology of industry. Or it's just simply a good speech when they are asked of what they are doing as a change in their organization. What is driving change? You must be able to understand that. Depend, what is driving change? In achieving the mandate, intention, or purpose about to create value with digital. You will not have a problem of teacher, parents, and students who may dislike LMS. Why? Because you do not have an LMS. Come on. And ask the question, are the people are running it, do they have a long time period of teaching inside an LMS? Is the guy teaching you has a long time period of teaching inside a digital environment? My friend, there are many experts, but outside of your organization. So you have to do that. The same. DOH will say, today, John, we are going to have our knowledge management system to properly rationalize all the data about our beneficiary. Question is, DOH, do you really understand a digital hospital information system? Do you really understand it? I can tell you there is one person in DOH who really understands the digital health information system. And he is from Davao. And he has digitalized his own hospital. But why is it that that framework was never adopted when everybody is awarding it and recognizing it? What is driving change? All right. Two, my friend, what are the elements that compose the delivery and support of digital transformation? To create new value, differentiated customer experience, and improve people competency. You know, I have friends who graduated virtually last year. And I told them, are you not happy that you have graduated virtually? Sir John, hindi eh. Hindi kami nakaakyat sa stage. We were not seen with our toga. Yeah, that is the old model. Because the new model is, what? It's not whether you have a toga, whether you have a picture that you're graduated. What is so important today is the value of your diploma and the value of that credential and the certification that comes with it and the online recognition of the people who will say, indeed, you have a PhD. Because I'm telling you, after your graduation, you will be changed. You will discover that what you have learned is not in the actual workplace. Why? Because if you look at all the textbooks that you have been using and material, they are not dated 2025 at the time you become a director. See? So the key, my friend, is your connectivity to the whole digital education resource. And you need to have a different mindset. Then the normative reference. Today, you are not judged whether you are better, good, or whatever. Your performance, the baseline that will tell that you are the right person for the job. Galing, ano? That you are the right person to the job is your adherence to the normative references, the standard of shared knowledge that enables the technologies of digital transformation. Standard knowledge. That's why CHED has to reform the way it understands competency relative to the actual practice, not from the point of reference of people who are desk researchers. Because today, boss, we rely on the lessons learned of people who acted the research. Ginawa talaga nila yun. That is the new perspective in the digital transformation era. Then, very simple, there are lookup narrative references. When you talk of digital transformation, there is an open group, digital practitioner, digital report, World Economic Forum, International Standard Organization, Technology and Consultancy White Paper. These are the references that determine, influence the way the real people who implement digital transformation. That the actual lessons learned derived from this reference serve as the basis for people to start, progress, progress, and improve the implementation of change with the use of digital technology. So, this is what it is. This is how we are. In the whole history of mankind, we go by innovation, revolution, disruption, transformation. As I said to you, the creator creates change. And the creation changes the creator. From a perspective of good, better, and best. Napakasimpleng itsura. Pag sinabi mo, Sir John, our school is best because our school is whatever. Ang tanong ko sa kanya, ma'am, pakita mo nga sa akin saan ka muna naging better. The moment sinabi mo you're a better school, ma'am, where is your good? The good is foundational. And the good foundational is based on standard. From a good perspective, you move to the better perspective, to the best perspective. And in the process, you will define yourself changing. Why, Sir John? Because your environment is also changing. Nag-retire na yung dati dyan, nagpalitan na ng bago. Not only that, the technology being used during his time when he was good is no longer the technology being used today. And the conceptualization of the better is no longer viewed from that perspective you call your law, policy. It is now coming with a different standard that now you call your best. That is the whole simple frame of how we innovate, we revolutionize, we disrupt, and we transform. The talk of Industry 4.0, pag kayo po, when you are talking about Industry 4.0 and you are giving lecture on Industry 4.0, or you are attending a seminar on this Industry 4.0, that Industry 4.0 is a knowledge derived from Klaus Schwab. Siya po ang nag-invento niyan. Kaya kung hindi pa ninyo, so please meet Klaus Schwab. So if you have a good, to build the proper understanding of Industry 4.0, please read the Fourth Industrial Revolution, written by Klaus Schwab, and being used by the World Economic Forum to help countries, organizations, to appreciate the convergence of the physical, digital, and biological innovation that is changing the way people today is living. And that will have a greater impact in the way life is being designed from today to 2030. And if you are an educator and you are not properly attuned to that reality, boss, do it. Why? That is the only way to be relevant. So the fourth industrial revolution will change, take note, not only what we do, but also who we are. You just imagine what happened to the Catholic Church during the pandemic. When suddenly going to the church is no longer essential. When most of your life you have to go to the church, look at the Blessed Sacrament, and pray. Today, you cannot do that because it is closed. Look at the Ramadan, that the way you celebrate it, suddenly, now, you are forbidden to gather as a group. It is changing. And suddenly, you find now a new innovation. Your worship from home. Worship from home. So the church is brought in front of your television set, which is connected to an internet box, which is linked to a YouTube or linked to a Facebook or to your cell phone. Imagine. Today, you will never miss your loved ones who is now working in Saudi Arabia. You can have that person stay in your house 24/7 by simply setting up a television connected to an internet box and connect it to any of those unified communication, streaming, and all of these things. Imagine, it changed. Today, imagine you are so proud about your work in your office, the activities you can do, and how you are given award for the activities you have done. Suddenly, COVID will say you are now non-essential. Imagine. And the agency or the business enterprise will only maintain the core function. Now you realize that you are working in a department considered as non-functional. And the non-functional who are working in this non-functional unit, first time, they are obligated to work from home with a computer. Wow, that changed the life of a person. The portable can comprise humanity's traditional source of meaning, work, community, family, identity. Or it can lift humanity into new collective and moral consciousness. Based on what? Sense of shared destiny. And the choice is ours. This is not John McCarthy, okay? So the moment you move to that level, it is going to change what you traditionally think about work, what you traditionally think about community, family, and identity. It will affect our identity and all the issues associated with it, our sense of privacy and notion of ownership. That is why a civil servant must make sure that his personal life is synchronized to his public life. What you declare in public that you are a moral person must synchronize to your personal life, because you will no longer see the black of the differentiation. There can never see the black of differentiation. Your best friend at any time can post something about you that represent your true identity. Our ocean of ownership, you will say, I am the author of this one. Remember, Google can check whether your material work is plagiarized, and you have simply Googled something and copy and paste or reworded it. Not only that, you may claim originality of something, but in the new digital environment, people put license to themselves to copy and paste, to share it without your permission. Wow. And then the new consumption pattern. You just imagine that you have a cash in your credit card or in your debit card, suddenly used by your children to buy something online without you knowing it. Because the procedure is very simple. And the time we devote to work. Today, you talk about 8 hours of work. But with COVID and working from home, now you realize, I am not working at all. Because my function is non-essential. But when you go to the office, you have the whole 8 hours spending there doing activities. But now you're only gauged by your result. And time can now be reduced. There is more leisure time to watch YouTube. And how we develop our career. Career development today, many years ago, you are required to have a goal kinds of, you are gauged by your seminars. You are given points. But today, my golly, you can improve your PDS with 500 certificate. Ako nga lang po I have a project. Ang project is to develop online skills training using global resources. Yung talagang mga yung tinatawag na top 5 in the world that is offering technical training. So my group is now working with Skillsoft. Number 1 in provision of training in corporation. So when I get my account, would you believe, my friend, I upgraded myself. I upgraded myself. I studied all the certification program on cybersecurity, on digital transformation, on service management. That is why if you look at now my CV, I have 200 certification set for each. At masyasyak ka, bawat certification program, I studied it and passed the test of Skillsoft. Sir John, how did you do that? My friend, working online. I was coached and trained through that. And not only that, I can put it in my LinkedIn and link my certification badge. So when you click my name, you will see all my skills training provided by this top number 1 skills training in the world. You can do it now. Why? Online. And then meet people and nurture relationships. Because I got inside into that learning management system, then I meet the real author. Imagine, I meet the real author. Now I can have an email with him. If I'm going to use the most important thing in training, okay, the relevance of a trainer is when the learner use your material. And then they connect to you to have a further understanding. If that is not the significance of a training program, walang kwenta yung training na yan, boss. They just fill their mind and story. But if it is really a job related, sabi nga ng civil service, outcome-based. Boss, an outcome-based is relative to a well-defined output of that person who is going to perform the job. And he is trained to create that output. That is a true competency-based skills training. In today's digital transformation context, that is quick and easy. Quick and easy. If you know how to do it. All right? Then, sabi ni industry, let us together shape a future that works for all by putting people first. So kung kayo ay educator, your primary task for the Industrial Revolution era, tapos na po ang computerization era. Nasa Industry 4.0 tayo po. Natapos na ang computerization. So ipagtuturo nyo ng computer subject, na bago na po ngayon yan. Right? Because of the 4th Industrial Revolution. And if your teacher is not in the context of the 4th Industrial Revolution, my friend, you better shape them up. Because you have to empower people, remind ourselves that all these new technologies are first and foremost tools made by people for people. A teacher who would not embrace the digital platform first of improving himself in the knowledge that he claims to know, my friend, that teacher fails his oath. Sumumpa kaya nung may lisensya siya. He fails that oath. Today, he can build that whole confidence and comfort of the knowledge because of the new technologies. A teacher who cannot listen to the learner relative to what they need to know in relation to a defined standard of competency, that teacher cannot teach online, because teaching online is meeting the student, listening to what they do not know, listening to what they already know, and create a program and content that will make that learner achieve his established gap, and at the end, easily accomplish first grading period, second grading period without their parents answering the question. That is the real reshaping of a digital education. If the experience today is not like that, then my friend, you are not true to the real value of digital transformation in what they call online learning. Alam po nyo, when you read the basic education law that created K plus 12, I know the people who formulated it. You know that the first item of how curriculum should be shaped is student-centered. There are, I think, 9 provisions that will determine whether your teaching procedure and process is in compliant to those requirements. So dyan, naman, because I know the guys who influenced the content, and their mind was moving forward to the level called digital education. Nakasulat po yun. Kaya nga nagtaka ako na during sa pandemic, gumagawa kayo ng manual, ngayon pala iniisip yung student-centered. And lumabas na may manual, teacher-centered. View ng teacher yung exam, may pating content. Oo nga, ang ganda, inayos nyo yung curriculum. Tama yun. Pero hindi po, but you have never ayos the teacher to be teacher-centered, to be a learner-centered. Then later, naging parent-centered. Let the parent teach them. Hindi po yun nakasulat sa batas. If you really analyze it properly. Because the people who formulated that law, they were already moving forward to the digital environment of education. All right? So, tapos na po yung ating, tapos na po yung ating mga computerization. That is Industry 4.0. Kaya kung ang utak ninyo, if you're still thinking on the level of computer and electronic in your course program, boss, mag-move ka na sa Industry 4.0. Cyber physical system, Internet of Things and Network. If the curriculum of your university is still on the premise of Industry 4.0, migrate it already. Migrate. Because you are offering a course program that will be irrelevant to the platform of living in the era called Industry 4.0. Sabi na, Sir Jan, Philippines naman tayo eh. My friend, we are globally affected. The same way that COVID started in China, we are killed. The same that the vaccine are being started somewhere in UK, and somewhere in the US, and somewhere in China and India, we are affected. The FDA in the Philippines is simply dependent on whatever are the research data that are provided by those locations. Tell me, who indeed is a scientist in the Philippines right there in that agency who have a straight, clear, present exposure on COVID and in the development of those vaccines? They will simply be gathering all the data, all the studies, and tell you at the end of the day how they're going to qualify that what is being said by Pfizer and all those people are really true. They will go again to a global reference of standard. My friend, that is the reality of your life. So the same, when you say, I am relevant in today's digital, it means you are Industry 4.0. And what does it mean? My friend, when you say, Sir John, our school is Internet 4.0. My first question to you is, does your school have a real framework on cybersecurity? Does your school using Internet of Things? Is your school using cloud computing? Is your school systems are now integrated? Are your decision makers using simulation technique to properly understand what they are trying to do and model? Is your school using big data? So this is the frame set, my friend, of what you call Industry 4.0. Business will understand all of this. Why? Because the manufacturing business, the health sector, right? The retail and sale, logistics, they are at the forefront of using the Industry 4.0 in order for them to achieve new efficiency, new value creation, customer experience. Question: is the school developing its new efficiency strategy? Are you creating new value? Are you now differentiating the customer experience of your students and most especially of your employees? If you are true to the concept of digital transformation, then we will see in your organization the reality of the Industry 4.0 transformative technology at work. So Industry 4.0 is a demonstrated experience in the transformation of service delivery. So the way you deliver service is now being transformed because of the collaboration of intelligent devices. Steel cabinets are going to disappear because they are useless in the data-driven organization that relies on digital data. Application system, meaning the manual processes and procedure, will be automated inside the intelligent network, merging the real and virtual world in cyber physical system. Cyber physical system means integration of information and communications technology with mechanical and electronic components connected to online network that allow the communication between devices similar to a social network. Imagine the moment digital banking starts to be rolled out. By the way, there is already digital banking recognized by Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. They have already established the rules and regulations on how you can set up your digital banking business. And imagine the moment the digital banking system operates, you will be finding BPI, BDO, all of this that still live in a manual framework, converting itself to the digital environment. And the bank and all of the bank users will change their mind. Babaguhin tayo niyan. So there are now default to have your email address, which is truly you. Default that you have your biometric information. Default, you have a lot of default. And there will be no digital literacy because the application system that will be provided to you is intuitively learnable. If you are creating system that you still need to train people now to use it, that is a bad system. The useful system does not require training. It is intuitive. It is learnable. That is the framework. All right? Then, my friend, okay, this is the whole. There is a organization that is putting upon himself the responsibility to observe, to influence Industry 4.0. That is the World Economic Forum. And they have identified all the aspects relative to digital transformation. That's why if you are a teacher of digital transformation, you must be a user of this facility. All the books, guidance, work that you need to know and have, they are made available by this link, the intelligence.weforum.org. Forget about searching. The knowledge management system of today's world, my friend, the knowledge management system of today's world is in the internet. The library of research, my friend, is digital. That's why easy today is to make studies and thesis of something that will have relevance and impact to the life of a community because of Industry 4.0. So let us learn from the user story. Ano minsan magsasabi, so John, paano ba yan? Andito kami sa Sibuto, andito kami sa Tawi-Tawi. Hindi ako naniniwala sa inyo because in my younger days, most of the material, all of my items being used in the house, galing lahat sa buwangga, sa barter. You will discover there are a lot of material and things in the barter that does not exist in Manila. There is a place even somewhere there in Hulu that you find people having cars better than the cars available in Manila. All right? So let us learn from the user story of active digital transformation with Industry 4.0. And what I'm going to share to you is not a story, it's not something come from an idea. I have direct experience of how it is being done. So first is the change in the house, the home, smart home. Because of Internet of Things, my God, my friend, you can control the ambience of the house. You can control the light. You can control the window and the door. Alam nyo, I've seen a university na at the end of the day, you don't need a guard to check the doors whether they are locked. The door lock are intelligent because of Internet of Things. So there is a central management system that monitors each room. Each room has a CCTV. And the CCTV is not just camera. It is connected to an intelligent system that what it sees, it analyzes. How many people is there? Who are the people inside the room? And they can even identify who is inside the room. Hindi ito istorya. Totoo ho yan. Bakit? They have no people to check the room. They need to control the activity of the room. So the same. In my house, you turn off the light. I just ask Alexa, Alexa, can you turn this off? Can you turn this on? And she does. And if I have more money, it can even control my refrigerator. It can even control my cooker. And not only that, when I leave the house and I'm somewhere else, I can have a view of my house. Because the camera are connected to an application in my phone. So I can see what is happening in my place. And it's in a country where I had this experience, the house is even connected to the nearest police station. That the moment I see something that is unusual in my house, the police is alarmed. That's why I like the Smart Police Project of PNP. If the Smart Police Project of the PNP is done, my God, the monitoring of the place becomes automated. So that is the meaning of smart, meaning to say you use the Internet of Things, intelligent devices, artificial intelligence to make sure that you are able to do. All right? Today, when you talk of workplace, the workplace has become mobile and social. Kaya nakakaasar yung sasabihin ng isang agency head, Hoy, huwag kayo dito magpe-Facebook ha. Huwag kayong gagamit social media. Hindi niya naintindihan pinagsasabi niya. The world is moving social. First, unified communication. If your agency is not using WeChat, Viber, WhatsApp, in connecting to your personnel, boss, malayo ka na sa panahon. And if you are not linking and communicating to your customer through social media network, my friend, you have a problem. And you do not broadcast and publish yourself in YouTube, Vimeo, and all of this, boss, your school is meaningless. And if you insist to have a meeting room in your place, and you cannot do meeting and collaboration inside, which now we are doing with Zoom. All right? Alam nyo, sa meeting, tatlo lang naman ang importante. The subject matter expert, the agreed agenda, and the decision maker. And you can put them online. You don't have to put them in a physical space to be together. Because a subject matter expert brings what he really knows, correct? The agenda, you distribute it. And the decision maker, sign. And you can do that digitally. And then secure login and authentication. That's why I cannot understand a government agency claiming to have work from home using computer and digital data without a PNP PKI digital signature. Mga friends, siguraduhin nyo, if you are a government employee and entering your signature digitally in a form, make sure you are registered in the DICT PNP PKI digital signature system. Regulasyon na po yan, na pinirmahan ng Anti-Red Tape Authority. And then information assurance. That whatever I see today, alam niyo, minsan nakakatawang agency minsan nag-declare ito, bukas bawi. Meron siya correction. Boss, never open your mouth. Sabihin niyan, hindi kayo digitalize. May manual yung prosesong yan. There is no integrity of information in your agency. And when you talk of integrity, first, on time ang information. Two, check ang accuracy. Kaya hindi pwedeng nag-declare ka ngayon, bukas iniba mo naman. Hindi pwede yun Sabihin, manual yan. Ayan. Alright? And then, my friend, social media tools. Ang dami yan. Meron na ho ako ngayong project. Actually, dalawa na yung ni-roll out namin. You find organizations now who are event organizers. Suddenly, they find themselves no longer to have their event in hotels. All right? And they can no longer do what they normally do. Di ba yan ang negosyo niyan? You prepare the materials, you invite the resource person. Okay? Okay? So what we did, my team did, we create an online event management system. Wherein we make market of the event. Wherein participants can enroll to the event and pay for the event. And if it is not them who is going to pay it, find a sponsor that will pay for that participant. And these are all done online. And then all the presentation material of the presenter are all placed in a storage system that is immediately accessible to the account to that person is going to attend. And it is pushed to his email. So when he attends the event, he has already those particular items. And when he logs in to the event, the camera will see that person and recognize that person from first period to the last period was present. Imagine, present. Na-assess niya, na-sense niya. And then after that, my friend, pwede akong mag-breakout session. Imagine you are in the event management system. You make now breakout session. So that the sponsor can meet those who are attending in order for them to continue their presentation. Diba? Ganyan ginagawa yan sa manual. This time, virtual. And not only that, at the end of that seminar workshop, or whatever that is event, certificate is issued immediately. Issued immediately. All the validation and verification requirement in order for you to be given with a certification is done artificially by a virtual mind. Actually, meron pa akong isa I want to check whether the research person is talking of his original work or he has just simply copied it somewhere else and claiming as if he knows it. There is a system that do that. They can check. Okay? So there are tools. That's why if you are in digital transformation, you know these tools, boss. You know the tools. You know the tools. So workplace, okay, converses within and with customer in the public booth of communication. Yan ang ngayon ang ating ano eh. That is where now we are located. Are you seeing it in the screen? Your mobile devices. That is now the place of work. That is also your place of prayer. That is now your place of learning. That is now the place of buying things. So the leading technologies enable the interactive exchanges. So if you are a person on digital transformation, you understand the technologies on unified communication. The workplace has to be in the public to accept the customer as friend or follower. That is the whole new framework. Bibili ka, friend tayo ah. So an open social page of the enterprise enables you to like, dislike, write, comment, follow, newsfeed, no event, upload photo, and send messages. That is now the whole new frame on which an educator can reach the student. That's why there are schools. Last March, I taught them how to create a learning management system simply using Facebook. And then some people say, Sir John, it is not great. You are still working on the premise of 1995. You are using the rules that exist without a Facebook. Why not create a new rule that will protect your student inside the Facebook? Meaning to say, you are not a user. You do not derive achievement using Facebook. Because if you are a person who derive achievement, success in Facebook, you will be not talking all of those kinds of rules that was valid when Facebook does not exist. The rules adapts to the environment of performance. It adapts. The only rules that I think is forever is the 10 Commandments, the 8 Noble Path of Buddhism, and the obligation in the Islam faith. That is forever and translated in many ways. But rules that was created by human beings relative to the way they are going to justify and respond to the situation, my friend, that is evolutionary. Because when it was created, it has a technology context. Question, are you adapting your rules relative now to the context of social network? Or you are still using rules that is context on the ethics of manual transaction? That's a very long discussion. Workplace must be able to collaborate their functional tasks and sharing of file outcome. Online collaboration is possible through sharing of productivity application and data storage. Imagine, ano? You can check, very simple, no? You can put on a storage something that is shareable. Google Drive. Some people ask, Sir John, why is it in your training, you give all the material, including the materials that you download? Because I'm trying to be honest, that what I'm saying to you is not my original work. My only contribution is to use this original work to address a problem and place my notation and my point of reference. That is a true teacher. And I share to you where did I get it so that you can also use it. That is the framework of shared storage. I am doing a research right now commissioned by a group. I told the I told the director, the moment you receive my paper, I am going to use cited materials coming from YouTube. He was looking at me like this. John, is that a research? My friend, what is research? Hindi ba you're trying to find information or data relative to a problem statement to a thesis? And who is the best resource? Hindi ba the expert who lectured it, who did not merely write it, he even lectured it and presented it to the public, and the public accepted it. So I'm going to cite that YouTube where he was talking and presenting those information. Later, he realized, I am now living in the Industry 4.0 era. You are now living in Industry 4.0 era. You are not living in the industrial stage era. If you cannot quote an official video statement of Stephen Covey on the 7th habit and the 8th habit, my friend, you have never met that person. Today, you can meet that person and validate whether that person who lectured you about it is correct. That is the biggest difference. Why? Because there is a sharing of the original data. And the workplace has to be published in the public space of self-presentation. Imagine without Facebook, without YouTube, no one would ever experience the passion, the determination of the Myanmar student and faculty who are leading the protest against the military. It is because of that. And now the global world are creating their opinion and actually feeling guilty. You believe in human rights, and here you are watching a country, the people are being demolished. Before, you can say blind eye, but today you cannot. Why? Because they are shared publicly. Imagine the terrible experience if a reporter today will flood all the YouTube and Facebook with images of people falling in line in PGH and dying in the morgue. Oh my God, that will create a lot of perception of mismanagement of the COVID. Kaya you control that eh. You don't want people to see that. Even that is only one instance. You just imagine that somebody makes a picture of the sub distribution wherein the elderly are falling in line. Oh, boss, that will create a lot. So public file sharing site allows the government agency institution to be read, viewed, and heard in the media that influence understanding, sentiment, and enjoyment. Hindi lang yan, boss. An event, when it happens, it is immediately captured and broadcasted. O imagine ang Marawi. When it happened, the reporters are not there. The television camera are not there. What happened? It is the camera of people who are being affected. The Masapano. You just imagine the feeling of a soldier, family of a soldier, hearing his husband being hit by a bullet in his phone and in his camera. My God, never happened before. Imagine a volcano erupting, and as it erupts, the person who resided the volcano is giving you already a live stream. Wow! How can a government PR able to manipulate the right thing to do? Media influence understanding. The new media influence understanding, sentiment, and enjoyment. Kaya ako, mga teacher na, when I was still a department head, I always tell my teachers, be careful in what you are saying to your student. Because today, a per student can record you without you noticing it. Because the cell phone is now a tape recorder. Do not associate it merely as a phone. Associate that as a tape recorder. The way in 1950 and 1960, a tape recorder is shut off from a classroom. Today, the tape recorder is inside the classroom, and the name is cell phone. Many years ago, camera can be shut off from any location. But today, camera is the cell phone. And not only that, the recording can be streamed live. Next is the business. Yan. So if you go to buildings, you say, oh, our building is smart building. I remember I went to this place in Makati, and the owner was telling me, Sir John, our building is intelligent building. Totoo naman. Kasi meron sa mga sensors, meron sa mga video, alright? Computerized. Pagpasok mo sa building, alright? You go to a kiosk. The kiosk will take a picture of you. And then, after that, okay, you enter your information using their ID. And then after that, you walk inside, bigyan ka smart card, you turn it to the turnstile open, you go to the elevator, and then you swipe the smart card, then the elevator stops where you were recorded to be going. Hindi ka magpe-press kung ano kang floor. The elevator is intelligent. The moment you swipe the card, it will stop where you are supposed to be. And then when you enter the floor, all the camera are looking at you. Ang galing, no? And they exactly know whether you went to the place you told the kiosk that you are going to visit. And then not only that, they will recognize the person who approached you. And then when you leave the building, okay, you swipe out, all right? And then after that, they retain the information just in case something happened to the place where you visited. Intelligent. But I went to that building to check data privacy. So even magaling ka, merong mga compliance regulations. Okay? So next, my friend, is data-driven organization. Isa pa itong buzzword na to. Data-driven. Data-driven is very simple. When you talk of data-driven, do you know your structured and unstructured data? Can you locate all your transactional data and operation data of your school? Do you have data lakes and data silos? If you cannot explain this properly, stop talking about data-driven because you are not true. This is the first indicator that there is data-driven in your organization. Ulitin ko ulit. Pag ikaw nagtuturo ng data-driven organization at you do not have a full understanding of structured data, unstructured data, transactional data, operation data, data lakes, and data silo, please stop. Because you are simply deceiving your audience. And when you speak of data-driven organization, you understand the technology that comes along with data capture, data store, data aggregation, data analytics, and data sharing. If you cannot demonstrate the use of those technologies, my friend, don't ever claim that you are a data-driven organization. Because in a data-driven organization, my friend, this is the technology. So when you start teaching data-driven organization with digital transformative technology, make sure you understand cloud technology. You understand data integration, data analytics, big data, security, privacy, and DevOps. If you do not understand this, if you cannot show the meaning of infrastructure, application, and storage inside the cloud technology, if you cannot do a proper data extraction, transformation, and loading to do data integration, if you cannot do collection, manipulation, visualization in data analytics, if you cannot do aggregation, storage, intelligence relative to big data, if you cannot do identification, protection, detection, response, recovery, and investigation in cybersecurity, build, automate, and deliver in DevOps, boss, never claim you are a data-driven organization in the context of digital transformative technologies. And if you are teaching this item in your school, make sure somebody knows specific technology brands. Amazon, Azure, Google Cloud, Hadoop, NoSQL, OSIM, Smart, Gradle, Grit, Sisense, Tableau, Talent, Pento. If you are not teaching these tools, my friend, in your university, my boss, please review and check. Another is, eto my favorite, Sir John, we have online. Yeah? What does the meaning of an online classroom? What is it? What is an online classroom? I created this, for the Department of Education sometime in 2008, 9 hanggang 10. And then I improved it this last year when I was asked by some publisher to teach school on how to implement online classroom. So I'm going to present to you the framework. Pag hindi kayo ganito, ay boss, binobola nyo lang sarili nyo. Hindi kayo online. Sabihin nun, teacher is here. Ito teacher. That's the look of the teacher, boss. And in the middle is a Wi-Fi connectivity. If you do not have that, don't ever say you are online. At ang teacher is now the following activity. The teacher is now an account maker, an event maker, a document maker, a file uploader, a post maker, a discussion maker, activity maker, assistant maker, assignment maker. Hindi siya Google Classroom user, anak ng Siopang. Hindi rin siya, alam niyo yun? Hindi siya, you don't make a teacher a classroom, a Google Classroom teacher. You don't even make the teacher an Edmodo teacher or a Moodle teacher. You're not. Or a Canvas teacher. You are making a teacher an account maker. Irregardless whether that is Google Classroom, Moodle, no boss. You make the teacher there. And inside that, the teacher performs his work, my friend. The teacher performs that work inside an inbox, email, and the messaging inbox, and internet application that will make the teacher perform the teaching task, and the file storage where his learning objects are made available in order for this learner. There you are. That is now the learner. What the learner sees is the learning material, not the module copied by the teacher in many textbooks. Learning material that already available, certified as correct. Paano ka gagawa pa? Nagawa na yan. What you do is to post lesson, to use those learning material, and activity, and lesson discussion, and lesson assignment, so that at the end of the day, the student will demonstrate the acquired knowledge through what you call summative and formative assessment. That is the view, my friend. That's a simple view. So what do you do? There you are. Simple is the teaching task. Sandali lang po, ha? All right, my friend? Siguro magtataka kayo, no? Bakit si Sir John talaga? Alam mo nyo, consultant ako. Nung sinimula yung mga e-learning niya ng 2 publisher sa Pilipinas. Hindi lang po yun. Ako po yung nasa likod ng mga interactive whiteboard, bako ano nung 2007, 2010. Si Sir Jan po nyo yun. Ibang mga produkto na yun eh. Yung kumpanya ko pa nagdala sa Pilipinas. Pati yung mga virtualization desktop na yan. May isang asang desktop tapos napakarami. Kasi nga, we are looking technology to support the teaching task. Huwag ka maglalagay ng computer dyan at mga internet niya na hindi siya konektado do teaching task. Ano yung trabaho ng teaching? Para magkaroon ng learning interaction. That is the premise of the technology. At baka magulat ka, napakaraming technology. One time nga, tawa ko ng tawa eh. Sabi ng isang isang undersecretary. Eh paano ka makakagawa ng learning na gagamitin mo mobile phone? Eh karamihan ng Pilipino 2G at telepono. Tawa ko ng tawa, meron siya nakalimutan. Nung panahon ni Secretary Abad at ni panahon ni Secretary Lapus, merong teach to text, text to teach. Ang galing, no? Yung teacher, iti-text niya sa estudyante yung pag-aaralan niya. At ano yung pag-aaralan niya? Pwede pa nga siyang mag-exam using yung text, SMS lang. Kaya lang hindi ko na alam kung ano nangyari doon sa project na yun eh. Milyon na nagastos doon. Eh karamihan din nakasama kasi doon, mga retire na, iba naman wala na. Pero meron pa ako nakikitang mga dating ASIC at USIC nung nagkaroon ng project na yan. Yung unang-unang project ng DepEd Computerization Program. Napakadami noon, boss. At ang daming mga vendor at third party na create ng maraming e-learning material para sa DepEd at para sa buong education. Dahil akala nga namin, mamumove yung buong cyber-ed project. Pero ang core pa rin, bago ka mag-technologize ng learning mo dyan, siguraduhin mo malinaw sa'yo yung teaching task. 6 yan, boss eh. Ano yung una, Sir Jan? Presentation. O sige nga, how do you present the learning motivation and the condition of learning online? O sige. Teacher, show me. How do you present the learning motivation and the condition of learning online? How? Hindi mo alam, problema tayo dyan. And how is Google Meet? How is Zoom? How is Google Classroom? Provide you the facility to present learning motivation and the condition of learning. Sige nga, paano? Then enumerate the learning objective to be achieved as scheduled. Ang unang-una, dapat alam na inuunang bata yung kanyang learning objective. Hindi mo sinasaksak sa utak niya kung ano yun. Kinakailangan siya mismo, ma-recognize niya yung kailangan niyang matutunan. Kaya nga ni-reduce ninyo yung curriculum eh. Lalo na sa basic education. Enumerate, then how do you enumerate that? Para may guide na ngayon ang learner. Hindi para basahin niya yung module mo at isa-isahin yun. O kaya ipabasa niya sa nanay niya. And then after yun, yung exam, ang nanay niya gagawa. And then number 3, my friend, is learning content or object. Natuwa nga ako eh, nung nilag silang DepEd Commons. Ba at least okay na to ah. Pag gumawa ang teacher ng lesson guidance, i-connect lang niya doon sa learning. Eh putya naman, meron nang nauna dyan, yung LRMDS, na ginawa ng AusAid. Pero may nauna yan sa Davao. Doon nagsimula yan eh, yung konsepto ng yan ng LRMDS. Pero dapat, lahat na nagawa ng materyales na naging effective na sa pagtuturo, ilagay mo na yan dyan at ipagamit mo uli. Bakit? Effective na yan eh. Ba't mo pahirapan yung teacher ang gagawa ng bago? Why do you have to make the teacher believe or new teacher to believe on doing something that was already done and was made successful to make a student pass? Eh, digitalized na nga eh. So, direct. That's number 3. Alam nyo, I'm showing to you also the global best practice. Magbasa kayo ng lahat ng e-learning interaction. Yan din sasabihin sa'yo. Number 4, assign learning activities that make the evidence of knowledge is acquired. So online, you make the student create a project. You make the student perform assessment. That is connected to the motivation and to the learning objective. Correct? And to the learning resources you provided. So every time the student is assessed online, there is a link to the learning resources that is available in DepEd Commons that will make that learner study further. Principle po yan eh. Totoo yan, natural. Si Sir Jan po ninyo ang project lead nung school is KOL, Multimedia Learning ng Intel na inintroduce sa DepEd in 2008. And even went to Ireland to meet the person who created the curriculum that you call the national curriculum of the Commonwealth. Napaka-simple sa kanila. When I teach a student, my objective is to make the student pass. I don't challenge the student whether he knows it. I put the challenge of the learner, this is your objective. In achieving this objective, these are the learning material. Study the learning material relative to your objective. And then I'm going to check whether you have achieved the objective by you performing the following activity. And I'm going to do the summative and formative assessments. And at the end of that, I will now certify you have achieved the requirement. Walang minimum. The requirement relative to that objective. Not only that, you can enhance your learning. Yan, di ba? Enhancement. You can advance your learning by the following again objective. This is now the advanced objective, and these are now the learning content in order for you to achieve this objective. And they're already available. And not only that, repeated material. It is repeated material. Because at the end of the day, when they do the national assessment, they know that the person they have certified to have completed that grade level achieved the same level of required understanding and ability. That is a model. And if that is not your model, then you will not understand the meaning of a standardized, regulated learning interaction online. Then you assess the formation, feedback, remediation, and enrichment. Minsan, daldal ng enrichment. Never pa nga niyang nakita whether na-achieve na eh. 75 enriched? Boss. Ang enrichment, when you reach the point called 99.9, 75, 80, 85 enrichment? Hello? That's still remediation. 6. Conduct the summative evaluation of the total achievement of the curricular outcome. So at the end of the year, right? Now, ang question, how do you do that online? Yan. Yan ang nangyari. Sabi, suspended. Alam niyo, nag-predict ako eh. Aabot pa kayo hanggang 2023. Wala kayong in school. Hanggang 2023. Pinredict ko yan last March 2020. Bakit? Boss, wala naman nakakaintindi ng COVID eh. Yung ang inchik na pinanggalingan, di nga niya rin naintindihan hanggang ngayon yun. So, suspended, pero ang sabi, tuloy ang pasok. Sabi ni Secretary, online class ongoing. Stay home ka. Tama ba? Stay home ka. Alright? Yan ang learning continuity. Ang learning continuity is with Internet of Education. Huwag mo nang layuin ang kwento. Learning continuity is with Internet of Education dahil malabo ka talaga mag-face-to-face. At kahit i-deliver mo pa yung mga module na yan dyan sa mga building na yan, my friend, mini-maintain mo lang yung budget mo doon sa manual. You have now to reconfigure the whole design and budget of education delivery with Internet of Education. Don't ever suspend it by saying, mahina internet sa Pilipinas. Eh di gawin malakas. Lagyan mo. Kaya ngayon may 400 million ang DepEd. Alam ba ninyo yun? Para saan? Sa Public Education Network. 400 million. Bantayan nyo yun. How is going to make sure that there is a learning continuity? So yan ang online class going. Stay home. Di ba? Si COVID. And then, in between, ganun pa din naman yun eh. Ang learning event, bibigyan mo pa rin estudyante ng learning manual. Di ba? Yan ang learning event sa in-school. Meron ka rin lesson presentation, discussion, demonstration, activities, project, assessment. And then, providean ka ng class days. Am I right? Doon sa in school, ang learning objective mo, yung parang blooms na yan eh. Acquire, create, perform, and share. And then you develop your learning content, printed textbook, module, worksheet, slide, learning video. Yan ang buhay mo in school. Suddenly, out school. Ayan na. Bam, baram, bam, bam. Papasok na ngayon ang mga learning technology. Ito madaling gawin sa in-school. Ang budget ng DepEd, dito at ng maraming eskwelahan, lahat dito nakarelate. Suddenly, online class ongoing. Patay. Lahat ng ito, dadalhin mo ngayon dito. Pero sa konteksto na ngayon ng email address, file storage, video conference, chat room, online form, web page, event scheduler. Tanong, ready ba yung teacher mo? Are your teachers ready? That all of this that is familiar with is going to be migrated to this context. Yan ang totoo at tamang gawin. Kung sinabi mong digital transformation of education, and when you say learning continuity is with internet and education, ang challenge ko sa iyo, paki-drawing nga, how you are going to do it. Wherein I can really relate that all of this thing that is being done in the online classroom will find itself being performed in the technological context of an online class ongoing. Yan ang answer dyan. My friend, you have to know the digital tools and content in the internet of education. You have to know, most especially, the head of the educational sector. You have to know your digital tools and content. Ano yung answer dyan? You know, email, call, chat, social network, content storage, kaya mabigyan ng Google Drive, mga meeting room, Zoom, then mga digital forms, biglang sumikat si Google Forms. Okay ba? And then, learning objects. Dapat yung DepEd Commons at yung LRMDS na ginawa ng AusAid, dapat yan, ma-fully utilize yan. Huwag yan, pahirapan yung mga teacher kagagawa ng kung ano. Reviewin yan at i-align doon sa inyong MELC. Kung hindi gagawin yan, naku, haba ng oras at panahon aaksayahin. Instead na ginamit na and then achieve the curricular objective. Then productivity tools. So kung meron 365, gawin din na yan. And then LMS, kung meron kayong Moodle Learning Management System, please naman, make that already available, scalable. Hindi yung bigla lang URL nawawala, biglang napuputol. Ay, Diyos ko po. Don't do that. Minsan nga nakakatuwa eh. Why do you have to create your own Moodle system? When they're already available. Available. Learning management system as a service. Babudgetan mo na lang ng certain amount ang bawat user. Mas stable pa kaysa gumawa ka. That is an approach. Alright? Okay? So yan po. If you do not know this, then you do not understand. You don't understand digital transformation of education. Yan po itsura niya. And then, ang social media, ito yung sinasabi ko, you can use it as a learning management system. But do not apply the rules that you have when there is no social media. Why do you have to apply that rule and that ethics? Understand it in the context perception of what is good to be delivered and value to be created. Ang problema kasi yung matanda nagdi-define ng buhay sa pagkasulukuyan, which hindi naman siya doon titira, mamamatay na yan eh. Pero he defines the present, which and the present is being defined by the people who are actually using the tool that the old people are just talking but not really using. That is a problem in the transitioning of digital transformation. So you have to understand that in the social media, you don't create classroom of learner, my friend. You create a community of learner. And then you have posted conversation, not the lecture of the teacher. And then you have stored or linked content. Yung ituturo ng teacher, meron na yan. Nagawa na rin ng iba yan. I remember when I was part of the team in DepEd in 27, we collected all teacher-created content. Do you know that? Diyos ko, siguro mga 60 boxes yun. At ang top-notch nun, Mindanao, ang daming teacher ng mga sa Mindanao na nag-create ng mga digital content. Napakadami yan, boss. And then afterwards, makita mo nakatambak lang sa isang lugar. Tapos ito na naman ang bagong teacher creating new material. Nasasabihin, Sir John, we are now current. Huwag mo akong biruin, ma'am. Dahil pag tinignan mo yung curriculum mo, hindi naman current yan eh. Ang laman yan eh, panahon pa din nung nag-aaral ako ng elementary sa Malinta Elementary School. Naiba lang siguro, ma'am, ang content framework. Pero kung ano yung what to be learned is the same. Hindi naman po siguro man nagkaiba yung verb, yung konsepto ng verb, noun, pronoun, adjective sa English, at even yung buong calculation framework sa mathematics. At there are already stored material. So use that stored and linked content. Natatandaan ko pa yung sa CyberEd, merong isang program yun na lahat ng teacher nag-react. Sa first period ng klase, yung pinaka-expert, for example, sa science, siya ang unang magle-lecture. And then afterward, saka pala magsusunod ang lahat ng teacher sa lahat ng classroom sa buong Pilipinas. Tawa ako ng tawa nun. Ay, kung yung pakialaman yung teacher sa gagawin niya. Pabayaan niya, expert na yan, i-train ang teacher. O yun. And then publish activities. Diyos mo naman, kung teacher ka, wag mo akong biruin, naka-invento ka ng mga learning activities na yan. Nabasa mo rin yan sa daming libro ng Bibal at ng Abiba, Phoenix at Tangrex yan eh. Nire-invent mo lang rin para mag-adapt. Huwag mo pahirapan ang sarili mo. And dami ng published activities. Ang gagawin mo lang dyan, examine and align it to your lesson framework that match the requirement of the learner. Yun po yung tama. Kung ganyan lang isip nyo, then you can do that in a social media. And then, accomplish assessment. Alright? Kung luma ang utak nyo, hindi. Yan ang ibig sabihin. The moment, pag sinabi mong social media learning management, pero problema, kung ang edad mo 50 at malapit ka na mag-retire, hindi mo ma-imagine yan, boss. Because yung pinag-aralan mo sa PNU o kung saan ka man nag-aral ng education, hindi naman tinuro yan eh. And secondly, that was never the context on which you have learned. So at the present, if you are the power to decide, you must be humble enough to talk to the people who have the real experience of the current framework of moving the digital transformative requirement of education. Ako po, I stand with authority with it. Why? Because I once upon a time helped DepEd to create that strategy. Unfortunately, the secretary has ended his term and politics brought in. But remove the politics, my God, the DepEd computerization program must have achieved the digitalization of education in accordance with the requirement of the law. Then the unified communication. Today, if you do not know how to use this, hey, my friend, you are not a human being in today's time. So you know your communication tools. That's already the life. Internet-based application system. Then the digital file storage. You must know how to use this properly to achieve your educational objective. Then the digital online meeting. Ito, ginagawa natin. You must learn how to use this properly to achieve your educational objective. Digital form, test, and survey maker. All right? Digital productivity tools. Don't limit yourself with Microsoft. There are so many, from LibreOffice, WPS, G Suite. Look at them relative to how they are going to make you achieve your learning objective. Then digital screencasting and video editing. Kailangan marunong na teacher ngayon yan. Nakakatuwa nga eh. Bigla nagkaroon ng DepEd ng mga TV movie. Diyos ko, tagal ng panahon na yan na merong ganyang mga project. Haba na. Kaya lang siyempre ngayon, mga bata. Pero ngayon nagbago. The technology has changed. The technology got mobile. Pero you're talking of the same thing. Recon, Movavi, OpenShop. And then the learning depository. Oh my God. YouTube, TeacherTube, Vimeo, Dailymotion. Sometimes create a lesson that makes use the learning content that is easy to use in YouTube. But you cannot do that if a teacher does not know how to evaluate a learning material relative sa kanyang lesson plan. My God. So how can you go with digital learning if the teacher cannot evaluate a YouTube material that is teaching basic in mathematics and apply it to his, and then he insists to create a module. Then pag tinanong mo, saan mo kinuha ma'am yung mga material naman yan? Huwag mo na akong biruin. Si Sir John po ninyo is a Rex bookstore author. Ako po ang nagsimula ng computer literacy for children. Si Sir John Punyo ang nagsumulat ng textbook na yan. At that time, walang naniniwala na tuturuan ng bata ng computer. Na ang context ko, tuturuan kong bata sa computer, pero sa context ng how to learn math, English, and science. So while learning English and science using computer, they become internet literate. Check nyo yun. Computer literacy for children. Si Sir John Punyo ang nag-develop nun. Kasi yun ang principle yun eh. The principle of learning is simple. And then apply it with the resource. Pag yan ang isip nyo, then you can go digital. Then the learning management system. Imaginein mo yung, Diyos ko, nag-move siya ng learning, ng online as learning continuity. Walang LMS. Wow. And then ang lakas ng loob to start the class on this particular time. Still, they are creating their LMS. And not only that, no one among those guys have even an experience of teaching inside the LMS. The only difference is director. Pus naman. Software as a service learning management system. In order for the school to... Ito naman ang publisher. We have this. Excuse me, in the actual experience of the school, pusa palpak, I will not name. So, sayang naman yung ginasta ng mga bata dyan sa lintik na LMS na yan. And then, sa actual reality, they are not achieving what is supposed to be achieved. So, learning management system. Easy Class, Coology, Edmodo, Google Classroom. Yan o, Coology. Sino may dala niyan? Di ba si Rex? Google Classroom. Sino? Di ba si Google? O di pag-aralin mo na yan, why do you have to invent when that is already available and operate within the framework? Alright? And you just implement. Don't waste your time creating and developing something that is already developed. Understand the educational model and whether that educational model is adaptable to the kind of educational agenda and perspective of educational delivery of your institution. And then, library, my God, most visited library online. May gagaling pa ba sa mga library na yan? Libre pa. And if you go naman to the public school system, wala naman library mo, eskwelahan na yan. So the only way to do that is put people online. Internet Public Library, International Children, ang dami po niya. At hindi mo kailangang gumasta. And then, learning site. Teach mathematics. Go to Khan Academy. Everything that you find in your math, they are all there. Imagine activities. Oh, why do you have to invent yourself in so many things? When the activity that is placed in your math, they're available in Khan Academy. Evaluate and analyze it and point it to the student. Oh, study here, huh? Neo K-12. Show me, learn free. That is what you call, boss, internet e-learning. There are already global courses. Kung yan naman like college, MOOC, imagine. I am really disturbed in a future when most of the college program offer get obsolete. Kung ang intent mo lang is to have a degree and a certification. And you can get a degree certification by simply doing the online education and pass the qualification requirement of Harvard, MIT, and all of those international universities that is offering their course program in the internet. Do you know TESDA? My God, TESDA. Your certification skills program will ultimately be overrun by what? Coursera. There are plenty already of skill training online courses, which during the time of a secretary, he was trying to create the e-TESDA. The e-TESDA. Where people who wants to learn skill will just go to that site of desktop and they are taught of the abilities and everything, including the certification exam. Eh, ba't mo alam, Sir John? The first e-TESDA project, I was the project management consultant. Unfortunately, again, it is the cause of failure is leadership that is not rooted on the actual experience of digital education. Tinatranslate lang niya yung kanyang manual eh. Kinukomputerize niya. Pero if they really understand the whole framework of digital transformation, they would simply be harvesting existing, established, standard learning content that is available in the digital. Okay? So, my friend, Wendy, let us have a 15 minutes break so that everybody can also a time to breathe after that very passionate presentation on on Industry 4.0 technologies and how it applies to education, to smart, and all of this. Okay? So, pahinga muna tayo. Miss May Deodoro. Miss
Sige po,
May,
sir.
where are
Let's...
you?
Hello, sir. Yes, sir. Sige po, sir. Let's have a
Then, balik
15-minute
tayo
break po.
mga
4:15.
10.
4:10.
Okay?
Sige po, sir.
Kasi 15 minutes lang yun, tapos na. Okay.
Sige, sir. We'll have another 5 minutes for us to complete the 15-minute break.
Okay? May, nasan ka na?
Yes, sir. I'm here, sir.
Okay na?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, um, so I have shown to you how digital transformation, all right? How is digital transformation happens, no? And I just to remind everyone, when I made the presentation on digital transformation of education, I am not criticizing anyone. Okay, I don't want to be misinterpreted as if I am criticizing efforts, existing effort related to online education or internet-based education because of the pandemic. I am showing to you an original concept on how to bring about the digital transformation of education in the Republic of the Philippines. And at a time, it was the base, it serves as a guidance in the formulation of the strategic requisite. And I'm coming from actual experience. I'm coming from actual experience. And I'm coming from actual frustration of how those planned things sometime in 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, until 2010, and still being provided with money, with billions already of pesos, are not achieving their strategic intention of an e-school project. Siguro narinig po ninyo yung eskwela, high school, sa DepEd yung e-classroom nila Isdicol sa elementary, and then yung sa high school. Ang sadyan po nyo, pagtanong nyo, isa po ako sa kontrabida. I mean, I'm a person or consultant who always provide a reference guidance on how to do it right. So, pag sinabi nyong electronic school, kayo ay e-school, hindi ibig sabihin yan, pinagyayabang nyo inyong mga computer gadget and software. That's not what it means. An e-school is not a computer gadget and school. And it does not make your school differentiated. That is already a required service that a school must provide to their learner in today's context of digital transformative technologies. At ano yan, Sir John? The moment you talk of e-school, it means education for all. Enroll anytime. Study with any device. Be certified anywhere. Content on demand. Ready to use knowledge. Expert online. Interactive whiteboard. Web apps. Virtual laboratory. Pop-up references. Error checker. E-book reading. Open sharing. Social media. Net storage. All of that are already available in the internet of education. But the biggest question is, why is it? Why is it that learners still find it difficult to learn and achieve the learning of curricular objective, and for teacher to perform their tasks? If this concept has been with us since 2006, what you are seeing in the picture are our initiatives. Konkreto na yan. I can provide you a site where these things are being created. And it means when you say e-school, there is a virtual community. Students are creating their group. They have your own channel. They share their gallery. Immediate feedback. They can do collaborative project inside my chat room. Show files to all. Talk, see me anytime, and send email. Yan po ang bagong konteksto when you say a school is digitally transformed. And when you look at the core services ng isang university, basic education school, simple lang naman po trabaho natin eh. Mag-enroll, provide the learning, give certification, and do research. That is the core. Yung iba, non-core na yan. Mag-enroll ka ng estudyante, make the student learn, give them the certification, and you do your research. That's the core function of all schools, either higher, basic, or technical. And then if you look at this school, you have three important systems. The record management system, sa DepEd, base yan. The learning management system, that is your learning LMS. And your knowledge management system related to all research. Matched ka man dyan o DepEd ka yan, yan din yan. That's still what you require in order to realize this function. And around it are data services. So you have to have your databases of student information, teacher, course, finance, registration, class, document, authors, organization, learning object. By this time, there must be a standard already provided by the regulating body on education so that DICT can really realize what you call the government portal of services, particular in education. And then all of these are connected to a connectivity. That's why there is Tech for Ed, Internet for all, free Wi-Fi, so that the student community, the users, may be connected to the data services, to the application that makes them enroll, that makes them learn, that make them certified. Tama ho ba? And then in this framework, the teacher, the author, the publisher, and government are all connected. My friend, this is the framework of the digital strategy in year 2007. It is still true today. If I will go now to a school, this is your learning continuity, virtual education management view. Huwag nyo nang bulayin ang sarili nyo. When you speak of your learning continuity, this is the virtual education management system. The student, the parent, and the teacher, all right? There is an integrating portal, the school managed instruction and learning delivery system portal. Meron yan. Doon, maglalagin, mag-enroll, mag-attend, mag-request, magbayad. And they are definitely connected to a mobile access device. Pang utak pa rin ninyo ngayon is to set up a laboratory. Ay boss, year 2000 pa rin yan. You are not in the present context of digital transformation. Ang teacher, present, interact, test, and report. And then they go to the same login system. And inside this, there is what you call, you can do a service request. Inside here, there is a payment gateway. Inside here, all the other LMS provider are integrated. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Nagawa na ho ng iba yan eh. And they're already stable. You simply have to pay the cost. And then the content service publishers. Pahirapan mo pa yung teacher na kakagawa niyan, bumili naman tayo ng mga textbook material na yan. And then the publisher even have those material, which the teacher may also just copy and adapt. My God, why not deliver the whole content? That is service delivery. And then unified communication. Use all the communication medium that is available in order to bring the learner to this. And then, of course, cybersecurity and privacy. That is a top view of what you call virtual education management. If your school and your learning institution is not moving forward to that model of digital transformation, my friend, you are not true to the claim that you are digital, and online. Now, it requires new competency. You have to look at yourself. You cannot do this using an old competency. What you know from 1990 to year 2000 up to year 2019. Bakit, my friend? Because the world also requires knowledge and skill on Industry 4.0. There is a competency model for Industry 4.0. That's why a university that is teaching computer science and engineering, they must teach already the competency requirement of Industry 4.0. If not, my friend, please do it. And what does digital transformation competency of Industry 4.0? Ito yan. Analyst, database, programming, network, and you teach the standard of practice, the standard that is provided by the professional body, the real practitioner of the practice. Marami yan. COMCHA, EC Council, ISTQB, ABPN, IDB. Then you have to teach real subject on project management, service, infrastructure, using professional guide created by the real professional who have actual practice. TOGAP, SANS, Scrum Alliance, PM Book, IPP. Ang sir dyan po ninyo ay co-author ng ICT Project Management Theory and Application ng UN APC-ICT. Translated po sa almost 20 languages. Ito po example. Yung pinaka-latest ko po ay translate sa Parsi sa Iran. So I have a book that is circulated in the ICT of Iran, translated sa Parsi. Imagine niyo yan, tayo gagawa pa, invento pa. Tapos naman, gawa na yan eh. Bakit hindi na yan ang ayusin mo? And make your students, your professional, acquire the real practice standard to really perform right the skill requirement of digital transformation. Isa nga nakakatuwa eh, may course sa cloud computing, big data, pero pag tinanong mo naman siya, is it based on blockchain council? Turo ng blockchain. Is it based on the blockchain council course element? You are teaching cloud computing. Tinatanggap ba yan ni AWS? Ni MS? Security. Tinatanggap ba yan ng ISC2? Saan ka nakakita? Nakagraduate ang kaya sa computer science. Pagdating sa certification exam, nagre-review pa rin ulit. Kawawa naman. So that is the element of the competency requirement. And then, nagbago na ho ang tools. So kung kayo ay nasa digital transformation project at hindi nyo kilala si Talent, si Django, si NoSQL, si HBase, si RapidMiner, si CSense, si Netras, si Laravel, Superbot, COBOL, SolidWorks, Rulio, CSense, CyberArk, IoT, NetScout, boss. Wala ka sa present. In realizing the use of digital transformation technology to what? To create new business value, to differentiate the customer experience, and to bring new level of efficiency. Meron nga akong nakakatuwa. Sir Jan, yung national ID natin, ano ba yan? Bago ka magdaldal ng national ID, pag-aralan mo ang MOSIP. Yan, no? The only way for you to understand whether may security, may efficiency, right? Ang national ID system, pag-aralan mo yung platform before you criticize it. I find lot of people criticizing the system kasi they have product to sell, kasi gusto nila magbenta. But my friend, tapos na yung boxing. Study the MOSIP. And if you are teaching your student on how to develop the National ID Management System, teacher, please study MOSIP. So this is what we mean. But when you are now transforming your organization using digital transformative technology, boss, there are new set of work tools for cloud, for IoT, for big data, cybersecurity, low code, and bots. And then, knowledge today, my friend, you don't reinvent what is already created, circulated, published, and used. There is no merit in reinventing the knowledge that is already standardized. There are in this earth today, knowledge is standardized. You only innovate in the context of a known standard of practice. So know your ISO, know your ETSI, know your CIS, know your SAN, your NSDC, your ENISA, your CSA, your UPSERT, your FIRST, your MITRE. A good teacher in technology has a solid connection to the security knowledge ecosystem. If a teacher does not have a close relationship to the knowledge ecosystem of digital transformation technology, he may be simply parroting the textbook, parroting a textbook, and trying to make sense an obsolete curriculum framework. Because there can be no fixed curriculum today. There is an evolving knowledge because every day technology is changed by what it creates. The moment a technology changes something, that change is also changing technology in relation to the service objective that it is trying to accomplish. So my friend, that is digital transformation technology.
Okay. Sir John,
Oh, ang
we will
ganda.
now
Ang ganda naman ni May. Biglang lumabas sa screen.
we will now proceed, sir, to our question and answer portion.
Oh, ready na tayo. Oh.
The questions will be flashed on the screen, sir.
Ang ganda naman ng tanong ni ma'am. Kung ako tatanungin niyo, ma'am, ang Industry 4.0 sa Pilipinas at lalo na sa education, lahat ng produkto dumating year 2006 2006. Ang mga Pilipino, walang ginawa kundi ikwento lang, tumati ng seminar. Okay po ba? Yung mga bagay niya nagsimula na 2006. Sabi mo, third world countries, baka magulat ka, ma'am. I can cite to you third world countries that are using Industry 4.0. Papua New Guinea nga lang eh. Yung South, mga Pacific Isles country, Diyos me, my friend. Eh bakit mo alam, Sir Jan? Eh Diyos me, tinrain ko karamihan yan sa UN APC-ICT. Yung isang ang Minister ng Education ng isang South End, estudyante ko pa yun eh. Matutuwa kayo sa kanila. They just follow standard. Ang Pilipino kasi, pag nakita niya yung isang magaling, gusto niya mas magaling pa siya. Mag-iimbento pa eh. Imbis na sundin na lang niya. Kung sinunod ng DepEd ang kanyang cyber education strategy framework at hindi yun na politika, nung panahon pa lang na yun, siguro ngayon okay na tayo. Eh, yun ang sagot ko sa iyo, ma'am. Yan DepEd Computerization Program, ma'am, nung dinesign namin yan, ang framework niyan ay Industry 4.0 yan. Interactive whiteboard, yung e-classroom, iSchool webboard, just me. Kaya ma'am, hindi yan ang problema ng Pilipino. Ang problema sa Pilipinas, gawin mo at lagyan mo ng pera. At lagyan mo ng tamang tao. Yan po ang problema. Hindi po how far. Kasi nandito na po yun. Yung agriculture, Diyos me, sangkatutak. Ang i-agriculture project niya na ginawa ng isang international organization, panahon pa ni Secretariat. Diyos me, pag nilinya ko sa inyo mga project at perang ginawa niyan, lahat ng klase ng Industrial 4.0 technology na ikwento na. Hanggang ngayon, panahon ni Secretary Dar, pinag-uusapan pa rin ang i-agriculture. Digital agriculture, naiwan pa rin sa aquaponics. Yung pinakasimpleng pag-create ng data na pagiging basis ng anumang budget at legislation. Diyos me, matay-matay pa rin sila. Manual pa rin ang enumerator. Pero ang dami ng dinaanan niyan na project. Boss, ang Pilipinas nagsimula ng computerization panahon ni ERAP. Hangang-hanga ang buong mundo. Dahil tayo lang ang merong tinatawag na e-commerce law. Ay, year 2000, Diyos me. At ang ibinigay na puhunan para sa gobyerno, 1 billion e-gov fund. Basahin nyo yung mga dokumento. Kaya gusto nyo gumawa ng research? Gawa kayo thesis. Pag-aralan nyo ang evolution ng digital transformation ng Pilipinas sa perspective ng mga rules, policy, procurement at budget. Masyasyak kayo na nagsimula pa ang Pilipinas na gumastos ng milyon-milyon year 2000. Pero nung dumating ang pandemic, walang makitang integrated database. Diyos ko po. I am not belittling, huh? I'm not criticizing. I can show you exactly those document reference that will tell you what happened. Kung nasunod yung tinatawag na cyber corridor nung panahon ni GMA, tapos na tayo. Na politika. Laglag. Pero, merong isa na successful, Ma'am Miriam, the business process outsourcing. Kaya nga pag may nagsasabi sa akin, John, Philippines, poor internet. Palagi ko sinasabi, loko-loko, anong poor internet? If internet is poor in the Philippines, then we do not have a BPO industry that is flourishing. Because the BPO industry rely on good internet. Rely on good internet. Rely on good competency. And that is what we have in the Philippines. That is why we have a lot of data center in the Philippines serving the world. But the administrative aspect of education, health, agriculture, my God, are not based on Industry 4.0. Wag niyo akong tanungin kung bakit. I'm just showing to you of how to present this properly. Kaya nga po sabi na si Sir Jan ang consultant na pag kinuha mo yan, panigurado, hahanapin niya kung saan ang iyong problema. Ganun po ako I cannot be a consultant kung kinuha mo ako para hindi maintindihan ang problema mo. And then if you are not going to honestly declare what you really do not have. Because we can only establish a good solution the moment we are so very clear about your gaps and the establishment of your real capability. Kahit bang galing-galing mo magsalita dyan, hindi mo naman napag-aralan yan, doon ka muna magsimula. Study it first. Find the people who can really help you understand it properly. Don't rely on the credential, certificate, because after they finish their course, that knowledge is obsolete because technology is always recreating itself. Experience of 75% is a critical indicator that you get the right consultant for the work. All right? Next, May.
Second question po, sir.
Diyos ko, Sir Jan, mag-file ng case sa ombudsman. Totoo ka dyan. Bakit? Ang daming policy na lumabas niyan, Diyos me. Panahon pa namin sa CICT kaya. Nag-IGOV na, nag-GOV ka, ano. Di ba? Si DOST, ASTI, lahat na ng eksperimento. Ano reason? Alam mo yung problema? Kasi naman, ang gobyerno walang ginawa kundi mag-imbento na mag-imbento. Gusto niya siyang masabing, I am the father of the internet. I am the father of the website. I was the guru of Joomla. Pus, hanggat ganyan ang attitude ng government entity, wala yan. Bakit? Bakit, May? Sa industry, anong ginagawa ng industry, May? Sa cloud. Tama? Which yun ngayon ang cloud first policy. Kaya ang ganda, ang DICT, nire-resolve na ngayon yan. Tama ba, May? Kaya merong cloud first policy. Pag-aaralan natin yan on the 3rd day. Kaya yung sinasabi problema sa website, ang reason kasi, nagpupumalit ang gobyerno gumawa ng kanyang infrastructure. Anak naman ng Shoteng, paano mo i-maintain ang CAPEX at OPEX niyan? Every year nagbabago ang leader. Huwag na corruption. Nagbabago ang management. Nagbabago ang budget. Tama ba, May? Pero kung yan, in-outsource mo na, which yun ang ginawa na ngayon ng DICT, tama ba? Nag-cloud computing. Imagine mo yung ICTO gumawa ng GovMail. Gawa siya ng sarili niyang mail server and everything, di bagsak. Bakit hindi mo lang ipa-host yan? Which yun ang ginawa ni Ninoy. Asek Ninoy, tama? Inilagay niya ngayon saan? Sa mga web mail server ni Microsoft at saka ni Google. Di ayos. Nako, hindi corruption ang problema, mga bossing. Alam niyo kung ano? Knowledge sa strategy nung nag-uutos. Yun ang problem. Ako, I can say that very, very direct to the point. Bakit? Naranasan ko eh. Siyempre, iba doon ay alam niyo na, may confidentiality. Pero tapos na eh. LibGen or live in searching and down ebook free. Is that website safe? Ma'am, ano ba ibig niyo sabihin ng safe ang website? Meron pong mga lugar na si Google, meron mo yan siyang facility to determine na yung mga website na yan ay anomalous. Ano naman ang kakayahan mo, ma'am, para sabihin safe yan? Sinong expert sa Pilipinas magsasabi na yung particular site na yan ay safe? Meron pong mga regulating body at dapat trabaho yan ng DICT. Kaya nga meron tayong cybersecurity group eh. Sa ibang bansa, ang kailang cybersecurity, they are the one who provides the advisory. Lalo na kung sa education sector. Ang problema kasi, wala naman sa DepEd na magtrabaho na mag-review niyan eh. At yung entity unit na yon na responsible sa cybersecurity, ang dapat magsasabi niyan, both DepEd and CHED. Nasa batas kaya yan. Kaya ma'am, walang pwedeng magsabi na yung kinukunin yung download, safe. Hanggat ma'am, walang authority na gumawa ng study at test yan. Ang kagandahan pa nga, ma'am yung hindi mga safe yun pang madaming material na makukuha mo. Dahil ang Pilipino, naghahanap ng libre. Ma'am, kanya ko, dahil ayaw magbayad ng binabayaran. So magse-search sa internet ng free. So saan ka pupunta? Di easy library, PDF drive, di ba? Diyos me naman, Scribd. Pero alam mo, lahat ng lugar na yun, nagbabiolate ang intellectual property yun. Lahat yun. At panigurado, that places, meron niyang mga worm. Panigurado, magbibigay ba ng libre yan, ma'am, na kung wala yung mga tinatawag na malicious code. So, basta libre, ma'am. Tingnan nyo si Sir John. At titingnan nyo kung sino ang organization behind it. Pero dapat sa Department of Education at CHED, meron silang cybersecurity group na ang trabaho nila is to make sure that. Alam ba sa inyo na meron ngang batas na ang lahat ng ISP sa Pilipinas, they have to have a filtering system that will filter all sites related to child pornography. There is a law. At interesting, top 3 ang Pornhub sa Philippines. Meaning to say, yung PLDT smart, they are not complying with the law. Ayan. So, ayan lang ma'am. So, hindi problem, hindi issue crap, boss. Huh? Yung knowledge, abilidad, nung may kapangyarihan to influence systems development, content. Yan. Doon po yan. Kaya malaki ang assignment ng DICT ILCDB. Kasi sila ang training organization mandated by law. Malinaw ha? Alright. Ako ma'am, marami akong website. Lahat ng libro. Pero ma'am, accept the fact na hindi yan safe. Posibleng may nakabaon dyan. Okay? Next question, May.
Last question na po yun for today.
Enjoy this
sir.
interaction. Okay? Next, boss.
Last question na po yun for today, sir.
Ay, hindi na ako mag-enjoy niyan, May.
Tomorrow po ulit, sir.
Alright, May.
Thank you so much, sir.
I hope hindi na bobore yung, ayoko na bobore ang ano ko eh. At ang aking mga audience, May. Gusto ko
No, I think they're enjoying so much.
Either mag-react ka sa akin, mainis ka sa akin, basta importante, nakinig ka. Hindi ka na makaka-react, hindi ka nakinig. Di ba na? Alright, go.
Thank you so much, Sir John, for yet
question?
another incredible session.
Ano ang last question?
Wala na po, sir. Yun na po yung last, sir.
Alright, so malinaw po sa inyo ha. Ang sabi ko sa inyo, hindi ko po kinikriticize yung CHED, DepEd, o naman DOH, okay? Ginamit ko lang sila sapagkat sila yung konkreto eh. Tama ba, May? Sila yung may konkreto na ini-expect natin na dapat sila ang lead sa digital transformation para magkaroon ng matinong public service. Tama po ba? Kaya ako sila ginawa. Pero hindi ko sila kinikriticize. And I am coming not from my own personal belief. I am coming if I apply the references standard. Tama ba? And rules nila mismo. At dapat, nagkaroon na ng digital transformation ang service delivery ng gobyerno. Magmula pa ng year 2000, may gali. Ngayon ay year 2021. Ngayon, saan ang problema? Wala sa corruption. Hindi yung corruption ang pinag-uusapan dyan. Ano, May? Competency. Tama? Competency in the management of digital transformation. All right. Bye-bye. Okay na, May. Salamat.
I'm sorry. Nakamute pala ako. Alright, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sir John, once again. See you again tomorrow, sir. So for now, it's raffle time. Ready na ba ang ating ruleta? We'll be giving away 100 pesos worth of load for 2 winners. So just make sure na nandito pa po kayo sa Zoom. Alright, spin the wheel, please. Congratulations, Miss Cyril Marie M. Ridulia, I guess. Ma'am, nandito pa po ba kayo sa Zoom? Kindly raise your hand so that are you here, ma'am? So otherwise your prize will be invalid. So parang wala na si ma'am dito. Can we spin again the wheel? Congratulations, Mr. Ryan or Minita. Kindly raise your hand po. First to make sure na nandito po kayo sa Zoom. So otherwise, ma-forfeit po yung panalo nyo. Spin the wheel. So far po, forfeited po. Congratulations, Miss Rosa Salvacion Bombales. Raise hand po tayo sa Zoom, ma'am. Ma'am Rosa. Okay, congratulations. And then, next, last spin po sa ating wheel. And congratulations, Mr. Jeric A. Despi. So, yung pin po ng load cards nyo will be sent through email. Ayan, nandito po ba si Mr. Jeric? So, I'm yet to confirm. All right. So, I guess that would be all. Thank you so much for participating for today's session. So, meron pa po tayong 3 sessions with Sir John Macasio. So, the evaluation link po pala sa ating Facebook live participants, nakapin na po sa ating comment section. So, that would be open until 12 midnight. And for our Zoom participants, so no need na po yung evaluation, since single evaluation lang po on the 16th. Ang i-accomplish nyo po. Ayan, so I guess we can already call it a day. This is your host, May. See you tomorrow.